because we can stay together here in today's seminar and workshop Navigating the Future English Language Education with AI and the evolving role of educator. We warmly welcome and sincerely thank you for your presence and participation. This seminar serves not only as an academic platform, but also as a medium space for exchange ideas on how technology and human values can collaboratively shape the future of our language education. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Eva Maharani, and I am honored to serve as your Master of Ceremony in today's seminar. And before we proceed, here is overview of today's agenda. The first one is opening. The second one, singing national anthem, welcoming remarks, signing FOA, photo session, coffee break, keynote session, lunch break, workshop, and of course, closing.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, next, let us sing the national anthem, Indonesia Raya. We kindly invite all guests and participants to rise for singing the national anthem, Indonesia Raya. And to the design team, you may now be proceeded. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you may now be seated. The next agenda is welcoming remarks, which will be delivered by the Vice Rector for Academic Affairs, Student Affairs, and Alumni of Universitas Erlangga. We would now like to respectfully invite Professor Insinyur Muhammad Amin Alamsyah, MSI PhD, to deliver his remarks.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammadin al-ummi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Good morning, everyone. Firstly, I would like to express my deep gratitude to keynote speakers and to Stokes, the founder of Clarity English, Dr. Aninsus Kumawang Jati, President of Indonesia Technology Enhanced Language Learning, Professor Dia Aryani Arindi from Sri Lanka, and my close friends, Professor Ying Chui Chen. I'm very happy this morning from Asia University Taiwan. Hope we can continue our collaboration in the next. And then Associate Professor Sahrul Marhadi Susilo, Dean of Faculty Humanities and the Booth of Leadership. Esteemed speakers, delegates, and participants of the Cloud English, and also the special guest, Ms. Pui Chan, Managing Director from Clarity English. I hope we always get healthy and kindness. Now I would like to deliver rector speech. Ladies and gentlemen, Alhamdulillah, praise be to Allah, the Almighty, for granting us the opportunity to gather at this international seminar. Really welcome navigating the future, English language education with AI and evolving roles of educators. The rapid development of artificial intelligence in recent years has brought significant breakthroughs in education, including in language learning. And AI is not only reshaping how students should access knowledge, but also challenging educators to adapt their roles and approach. And this era of globalization and internationalization, English proficiency has become essential asset for national competitiveness, particularly as we move toward the vision of Indonesia Mas 2045. In this context, today's seminar, with the starting meaning, it not only explore methodologies for English language learning in digital era, but also discuss how AI can serve as a partner for educators and cultivating students' critical thinking, communication, creativity, and collaboration skills. Universitas Airlangga remains committed to fostering innovation in learning that integrate technology with humanistic value, and we believe that technology, when applied wisely, can strengthen academic excellence while enhance the quality of education. Therefore, UNER's collaboration with Clarity English represents an important step in supporting our students' mastery of English, as well as preparing them to engage with future global dynamics. Ladies and gentlemen, I certainly hope that the seminar will serve as a space for collaboration and the exchange of ideas, generating useful recommendation, and not only for English language learning development, but also for higher education policy and for educators navigating the demands of our changing times. Finally, on behalf of Rector Universitas Airlangga, and with Bismillahirrahmanirrahim,
Thank you.
I am honored to officially open the international seminar, Navigating the Future, English Language Education with AI and Evolving Role of Educators. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Professor, for your insightful remarks. Next, we will hear a welcoming remark from the Managing Director of Clarity English to the respected Ms. Pui Chen. We kindly invite you to deliver your speech.
Good morning. Distinguished Vice Rector, Professor Amin, Dean Dr. Shara, all distinguished speakers, and faculty members, teachers, and students. Our founder, Andrew Stroll, was very much looking forward to be here today. But unfortunately, due to sudden and unfortunate family matters, he really can't come here today. He want to send his deepest apologies to everyone. But having said that, he will still be part of the event today. Later on, you will see him through soon. While Andrews is in the UK, I'm truly honored to be here in person, especially as your university's alumni achieve such a historic height. Your ascent to in the top 300 tiers of the QS World University Ranking 0% is a monumental achievement. Ranking top 5 in Indonesia also reflects the immense dedications of your commitment to the community. You will truly set the excellence benchmark for the Asia region.
The spirit of excellence drive our collaborations. Clarity has spent over 30 years to partner with different institutions like British Council, Oxford University Press, to elevate English proficiency globally. As Indonesia moved towards to the Indonesia MS 2045, we recognize UER's vital roles in preparing a global competitive workforce. Our mission today is to support your academic goals through 3 focus pillars. First, self-regulated learning. Empower your students with measurable digital resources to take ownership of their progress. The deep learning approach, aligning pedagogy with the Minister Education goals of critical thinking and digital literacy. Third, English educations in the AI era. Ensuring UER graduates don't just use AI, but command it with linguistic precision required on the global stage. By combining UER prestige with Clarity industry expertise, we ensure your graduates are ready to lead in the new era. Let's work together to shape the future of the language education here at the UER. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Pui Chen, for the insightful remarks and also the collaboration of spirit. The next agenda is welcoming remarks from the Dean of Faculty Humanities, Universitas Airlangga. We would now like to respectfully invite Mr. Syahrul Marta Dwi Susilo, SSMA PhD, to deliver his remarks.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, selamat pagi. Excellency Prof. Amin Alamsyah, Vice Rector of our Academic, Student Affairs and Alumni, Vice Dean Faculty of Humanities, Professor Sarkawi, Dr. Listiono and Dr. Dewi, Managing Director of Clarity English, and the team from English Clarity, Mr. Puyi Chang, keynote speaker of the seminar, Professor Dia Aryani Arimbi, Professor Chen, and Dr. Gumawang Jati, invited guests and participants of the seminar. Ladies and gentlemen, first allow me to deliver the speech in bilingual, Bahasa Indonesia and in English. Bapak Ibu yang saya hormati, izinkan saya menggunakan bahasa Inggris dan bahasa Indonesia dalam opening speech kali ini. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Thanks God we able to attend the seminar titled Navigating the Future English Language Education with IES and Involving Role of Educators, and welcome to Universitas Airlangga. Kegiatan ini adalah kegiatan Pertama, penguatan kerjasama antara Fakultas Ilmu Budaya Universitas Airlangga dan Clarity English. Dan tentu saja saya sangat bahagia dengan kesempatan ini. I'm very happy to know the participants from State University, private university in Surabaya, and outside Surabaya also some private and public senior high school are so much eager to join this seminar. From the perspective of Faculty of Humanities, this seminar strengthens a pioneering position to refine educator pedagogic competency and promote digital humanities to academician. English language education is demanded to be more adaptive, more flexible, more effective, not only at the higher education level, but also in high school. Educators such as teachers, lecturers, even top management are also facing the rapid growth of technology in the form of AI. How is AI humanist? How educators adopt AI in English language education? How all of us here use AI wisely without leaving academic ethics? I hope all these questions will be answered in this seminar. Tentu saja kolaborasi antara Fakultas Ilmu Budaya dan English Clarity tidak hanya berhenti di sini. Akan ada kegiatan lebih lanjut, kuliah tamu, pengabdian kepada masyarakat dalam 5 tahun depan yang dapat diperluas dan dikembangkan dengan melibatkan semua peserta dari berbagai instansi. Saya berharap Anda semua mendapatkan pengalaman yang luar biasa dan lebih banyak diskusi antara akademis dan para peserta dan lebih banyak kesempatan untuk membangun networking. Finally, thank you for the cohorts Clarity English and the teams. Thank you for the committee for preparing this seminar. And again, have great seminar. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, sir, for your inspiring and remarkable remarks. We now proceed to the signing of the Memorandum of Agreement between the Faculty of Humanities, Universitas Airlangga, with the Clarity English. May I invite the Dean of Faculty Humanities, Mr. Shahrur, and Managing Director, Ms. Pui Chen, to the stage. May this Memorandum of Agreement mark the beginning of a strong and enduring partnership, and may this collaboration continue to grow to bring a mutual benefits in the future. Please give applause once again. All right, you may now be seated. Thank you very much, Mr. Shahrur and Ms. Pui Chen. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed to the next agenda, we would like to kindly remind all of the participants and speaker to stay for a group photo session. Ladies and gentlemen, may I kindly ask you to stand up and face. Baik, Bapak Ibu, mohon maaf sebelumnya. Akan ada penyerahan cindera mata dari Profesor Amin kepada Prof. Chen. Baik, mohon maaf. Mohon maaf sebelumnya. Akan ada penyerahan cindera mata dari Profesor Chen kepada Profesor Amin.
Just to show my respect and appreciation of Vice President we have been a long time friend. It's during the years, and actually, this is small one, but this is oolong tea. This is the token of respect. Thank you very much.
Baik, Prof, mohon maaf sebelumnya kita bisa foto bersama, bisa maju ke depan kembali. Oke. Ya. Oke. For the keynote speaker, you may come forward. We can take a photo together before we move to the next agenda.
Excellence is more energy.
Bapak Ibu, mohon maaf, mungkin bisa berdiri terlebih dahulu untuk melakukan sesi foto bersama. Yes, it's very possible. We want to.
Untuk yang di sisi kiri dan kanan bisa merapat ke tengah, nggih.
Excellent and more
Okay, I'll make the countdown.
Merapatkan.
Is it ready?
Di belakangnya aja mungkin nggak apa-apa. Oh, ya. Oke. 1, 2, ya. Asal jangan kelihatan. Lebih geser. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ganti gaya freestyle. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oke, terima kasih.
Thank you very much. You may now be seated. All right, dear participants, are you still with us today? Still energized? If you're feeling a bit tired, don't worry because it's coffee break time. And please, you can enjoy the snacks in front and relax for a moment and you can come back recharged and ready for the next exciting session until 10 a.m. I remind you once again, it's until 10 a.m. Thank you very much. Baik Bapak Ibu, ada perubahan untuk kembali ke ruangan bisa di jam 9:45.
Terima kasih.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the time now show 9:45, we kindly ask everyone to return to the room because the seminar are about to start. I would like to remind again, as the time now show 9:45, we kindly ask everyone to return to the room because we are about to continue the seminar. I remind again, because the time now show 90:45, we kindly ask everyone to return to the room because the seminar is about to start. May now be seated in your first seat again because the seminar is about to start. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to remind that you can share your moments on Instagram stories, but don't forget to follow and tag at clarityenglish_IDN and at feb.uner, and you can use the provided template on the QR code in the handbook. Right, ladies and gentlemen, as the break time has come to an end, we hope you had a chance to enjoy refreshment. We hope you're all refreshed and ready because we are about to move into the most special session in this seminar with our outstanding speaker, Dr. Anusius Kumawang Jati MA and Professor Dia Aryani Arimbi, discussing a topic that is highly relevant to our daily lives. This session will discuss how generative AI reshapes pedagogy and how educators can balance technology with human values in English language teaching. To the honorable speakers, we kindly invite you to come forward. And to moderate this session and introduce our keynote speaker, it is my honor to invite Ms. Vicky Adania, SSMA, PhD, the lecturer at the Faculty of Humanities, Universitas Erlangga.
Check 1, 2, 3, 4. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. So my name is Vicky Adania, and I am one of the students from Professor Chen, and also one of the students of Professor Dia Aryani Arimbi as well, and colleague from Dr. Gumawang Jati, that he was ever invited in Faculty of Humanities several years ago, if I'm not mistaken, 2024. In Faculty of Humanities, but not here, right? In that building. So within, from now, let's say now shows around 9:51. It's a bit earlier, 9 minutes, because based on your rundown, it was supposed to be starting at 10 o'clock. But hopefully that we are going to have more discussions, more questions and answer sessions between the keynote speakers. So I'm going to introduce two speakers here first, and then I'm going to invite them to come forward. And okay, I'm going to say into two bahasa, okay, two languages, because I believe that in Bahasa Indonesia, my professor doesn't understand, oh, Vicky, what you're talking about. So that's why I'm going to say in two languages, Bahasa Indonesia and Bahasa Inggris. I believe here once why I say in Bahasa Indonesia doesn't mean that I don't respect Indonesian language, but it's just want to, yes, more casual one here. Okay, let me introduce Dr. Gumawang first. Dr. Gumawang now is the president of ITEL and a senior lecturer at Institut Teknologi Bandung. His expertise includes ELT, English language teaching, teacher training, and then the most of the important here is the integration of technology in English language teaching. And today he's going to talk about beyond tools, reimagining pedagogy with generative AI in English language educations. And the second one here, Professor Dia Aryani Arimbi. At this moment, she is a professor in the English Department, Faculty of Humanities, Universitas Airlangga. And also, she is the head of doctoral program in Faculty of Humanities. She was the head of Language and Multicultural Center, if I'm not mistaken, 2020. Yes, 2020 to 2025. I'm sorry, everybody, just like a tip of my tongue here. And she is going to talk about teaching at the crossroads, English educators between humanism and artificial intelligence. If you have heard the Dean's opening remarks, how AI is going to be humanized and how we use AI with him, let's say, in the sense of humanities here, will be answered in this talk. So without ado, I would like to invite Dr. Gumawang Jati, please come forward, and Professor Dia Aryani Arimbi. I think I will be assisted. I think I will be assisted with timekeeper. Could you show me where the timekeeper is? Okay, so there is a timekeeper over there. Could you please wave? Okay, so that can you? Yeah, the timekeeper there is going to help us here to look at the time. Okay, without ado here, I would like to invite Dr. Gumawang to.
Okay, thank you very much for the invitation. By the way, I'm no longer with ITP. I just got retired last year. Now I moved to Unbar, Universitas Katolik Parahyangan, still in Bandung. So yeah, I'm going to share my screen. Just a minute. Please bear with me for a second. Di sana. Okay, I want you to join into this very short demo and so on. Can you scan the QR and then enter the PIN. If not, then you can go to curie.live and enter the code 644818. Curie port. You can try it later with your class. Now you have a nickname, so no need to worry about your real name. Yeah, we got 23. Yeah. This platform is use AI to help me in giving this presentation. Yeah. Yeah, we got 50 participants, 51. Thank you, great. 54, 56, 59. Kalau tidak bisa, pinjam HP tetangga. No, I'm kidding. If not, that's okay. No need to worry. 67. Okay. I will start. If you want to join, you can go to curie.live, and the pen is going to be on the top of the screen anyway. Yeah, because of the time. So. Sudah ya? Kita mulai. So I'm going to talk about reimagining pedagogy and generative AI in language education. It's more on practice. You do something and then we discuss about that. I'm not going to talk about a lot of theories in here, just to demonstrate how that might work in some cases. Now, what I want you to do right now is to draw your feeling today on your screen. So use your mobile to draw your feeling. You're feeling happy, unhappy, lonely, lovely, scared, happy, whatever. Just draw. Yeah, just draw on your screen using your mobile. Terus submit. Ya, submit. Apa saja, silahkan. Okay, we got 30 seconds to draw. We got 400, almost 500 drawings. My God. Okay, let's see your feeling today. Yeah. So this is your feeling today. Some of you feeling lovely. You're drawing your cat, happy, and yeah, colorful. Okay, mostly feeling happy today. Yeah, okay. Ada yang ngantuk kayaknya nih. Lupa nggak minum kopi. Yeah, the stars. Okay. So we got like 26 drawing. Yeah. Let's move on a little bit. So today, two things that's already happening. AI is changing our work. Siapa yang pakai ChatGPT? Angkat tangan. Ada yang malu-malu masalahnya. Do not be shy, everyone use that. How many of you use Gemini? Gemini. How many of you use DeepSeek? Raise your hand. DeepSeek. Yang belum pernah nyoba, nanti nyoba. Yeah. That's all AI is new. It's changing your life, changing the student life. If you gotta give a homework, the student for sure, or 99% they might use AI at home. The question is, do you teach them or do you want to just to find the answer? It's just want to find the answer, then AI will help. Jadi kalau hanya pengen tahu jawabannya, they will go to AI. If you measure that this kid is very smart because they got correct answer, that was in the past. Right now, you want the answer, the kid got correct answer, with the help of AI. Do you think the kid's smart? Think about it. Maybe no, maybe yes, maybe no. Okay. So that's happening right now. Let's move on a little bit. So the question is not use or not using AI. Everyone, almost everyone use AI. Nggak tahu untuk apa tapi pasti dipakai. Ya kan? Tanya yang nggak relevan, that's ya pakai begitulah kira-kira gitu ya. The students for sure they will do cheating. Probably. Some of them might talk to the AI to get knowledge. Probably. Yeah. So the problem with us, it's the reality. How do we ensure that the student is learning? Not just finding the answer. How the student think critically while using AI. AI it was founded for business. In business, time is money. When it's getting bureaucracy getting shorter, cuannya banyak. Okay, and they got more profit on that. Cutting the human resources, got more money on that. The speed, that's faster, that's the better. In education, teaching is not about speed. Teachers' work is not about speed. In reality, that's another matter. Karena ada AI, terus sekarang tugasnya lebih cepat kan? Ya, mana persiapan mengajarnya? You got a week. Everything is about speed. You have to deliver this semester. You have to cover this. Everything is speed. Stop. Think about it. Is it education? Is it about the speed? Is it about efficiency? Maybe not. Teaching is not about efficiency. Teaching is not about speed. Terus teaching about apa? Ya nanti dulu. Setelah pesan-pesan berikut. So this is the AI. It's a system that learn pattern. They got a lot of data and they produces prediction. That's what we have to keep in mind. They can create text, answers questions, they can write essays, they can write generate email, they can generate summaries, they can give feedback, they can give comment, and also they can give recommendation. If you're going to Taiwan to present Professor Chen, then give me the itinerary for 3 weeks. I have this much money. Do you have any suggestion? And they will give you the suggestion. Is the suggestion correct? Probably not. It's based on a pattern. It's based on the data that they have. It's not based on the instinct and so on and so on. Remember, AI cannot think. They can find the answer, but they cannot think. Now, look at our English classroom. In my English classroom, AI almost extend student learning, replace student thinking, help teachers doing preparation, or I'm honestly not sure. I give you 50 seconds. Use your mobile to answer. Do not ask ChatGPT. It's very, very easy. Extend student learning, replace student thinking, help teachers more than students. I'm honestly not sure yet. Yeah. Some of you extend student learning, 22 of you. Yang benar. Extend their learning. Or extend their cheating at home. Or replace student thinking. If you just want the answer, then that will replace student thinking. So when you create a homework, it's not the same when you were a student long ago. Our teachers want to know the answer. If I got the correct answer, they will say, very good, Jati, you are great. Right now, my answer is correct. Are you helped by AI or... Yeah, think about that. Help teachers more than students? I'm honestly not sure. Yeah, some of you not sure about that. I'm not going to give you the answer later, but by experiencing this, probably when you go home today, you will feel a little bit worried, happy, you want to know more, and you learn more. The more kalau that you have, I think that's the better. Ya, jadi saya membuat kalau aja. Tidak akan memberi jawaban karena saya bukan AI. Which activity worries you the most when students use AI? Because you cannot say no, don't use it. Yeah. So what's writing, translation, homework, or speaking practice? You got 30 seconds only. Kita nggak bisa melarang jangan pakai AI. Dan kita tidak pernah ngaku kalau kita pakai AI. Malu-malu. Yeah. Most of you, translation, you are not worried about that. Homework, yeah, they might cheat and so on. Practice speaking, so you don't use AI for speaking, but mostly for writing, so you're worried that the student will cheat while they do the writing because they can write. Because you're marking the product. You are ignoring the process. You're ignoring the history of how they write. So probably we have to start thinking, not looking at the product, but more on the process of writing. Yeah, the product is not 100% or 80% you mark from the product, but you can mark like how they brainstorm, how they start their writing, how they write the first draft, how they talk to their friend, and so on and so on. You have to find the evidence of learning writing, not the product. How Pak? Setelah pesan-pesan berikut dan dipikir di rumah. Yeah, the process of the writing and find the evidence. Now, that's for you. You have used AI for lesson planning or writing material, creating a worksheet, giving feedback to students. You got like 30 seconds. Lesson planning or writing materials, worksheet creation, or giving feedback. Okay, thank you very much. So you do a lot of lesson planning karena lesson planning itu melelahkan. Now the question is, do you think that much when you do preparation with AI, or do you think less? Were you being creative when you write using AI, or you just rely too much on the AI? So that you just use the AI and bring it into the classroom without thinking whether that's appropriate for your student or not. Nggak usah dijawab. Worksheet or creation worksheet, so that's make it easier, and then you just produce it, print it, and then give it to your students. If you do that, that's the same attitude from your students. Saya dikasih tugas sama Bu Guru dan Pak Guru, dan saya mengumpulkan tugasnya. While you are writing the tugas, ya terserah gue mau pakai AI atau tidak, bu guru nggak tahu, nggak ngeliat. So the same attitude probably is the same way. So think about that. Terus caranya gimana? Again, find the evidence and so on and so on. So you have to try yourself when you write a lesson plan, then produced by AI, and then you look at it. How do you look at it? What should I do with this? And the step is very similar that the student encounter while they do writing. So those steps, probably you can try it and find the evidence, and then you can apply it with your student on that. Different teachers, different contexts on that. Yeah. Now let's move on a little bit. How many of you familiar with TIFIT? Raise your hand. Satu, dua. Yeah. TIFIT is an AI. It's not generative AI like ChatGPT and so on. It's specialist for creating a lesson plan. It's not perfect. You have to think about that critically and so on, but create the draft very easily. So you can create from things that's already in YouTube, and then you can create the lesson plan or list of vocabulary, and then they will create the lesson plan for you and so on. I'm going to show you this later after lunch. Not now. So that you will not go home after lunch. Okay. You expect students to have used AI for writing assignment, translation, paraphrasing, or speaking practice. Okay, mostly writing assignment. Yeah. Then you busy finding yang bisa deteksi mana ya, gitu kan? You try to find a detector for AI. If you find the detector, terus mau ngapain? Oh ya, anak ini pakai AI, terus ngapain? Dinilai jelek. Is it fair? Yeah. So AI detector and so on and so on, maybe we do not need to worry about the detector, but you have to worry, how should I look at, again, the evidence of learning? That's the same way with speaking, same way with grammar, and so on and so on. You have to find the evidence and start thinking, that's the learning, it's there. You cannot mark right now the process, the end of the product only, unless that's assessment. That's why assessment mobile is not allowed, dictionary is not allowed, but you cannot do that for homework, for example. Yeah. So think about that. Let's move on. So generative AI producing by predicting, it can draft essays, can rewrite, can explain grammar and vocabulary. Yeah. So how can I give instruction to my student so that they use AI just to help in drafting the essay? So you have to work with the student. How the paraphrasings work? How will you instruct your students? Nggak bisa pakai ini ya kalau paraphrasing. Atau jangan pakai. That's not the way. Again, yeah, you have to go deeper on that. The same with grammar. We have Grammarly right now. Everyone use Grammarly. Also, AI can stimulate conversation. Have you tried that? Pakai ChatGPT pernah ngobrol nggak? Pernah pakai simulasi di kelas nggak? Pernah, ya. You can do simulation, for example, with ChatGPT, the free version, of course. Okay, let's try a little bit. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How about you? Anything exciting lined up for today?
Oh yeah, I have a group of teachers and lecturers here, and I'm practicing the simulation conversation and role play. I want to explain how AI works. Can you help me?
Absolutely glad to help. We can break it down in a relatable way. Maybe you could use an analogy, like AI being a helpful assistant that learns patterns from data and then offers suggestions or generates. Specific angle do you want them to understand, like chatbots, writing tools, or more general AI applications?
And I have the script.
Your script, we can make it engaging. As you walk them through the explanation, you could pause for quick role play moments, like pretending one person is the AI responding. That way they'll experience how it works in a fun, hands-on way.
Terima kasih banyak. Pintar sekali kamu.
Sama-sama. Kalau ada bagian yang mau disesuaikan atau ada latihan yang mau ditambahkan ke simulasi, tinggal bilang saja ya. Semoga sesi latihanmu berjalan lancar.
Ya, tapi ada Profesor Chen yang dari Taiwan. Do you speak Taiwanese?
I don't speak Taiwanese, but if you ever need help translating something into or from it, I'd be happy to support with translation tools. If there's something specific you'd like to convey, we can figure it out together.
How about speaking Mandarin?
Yes, I can speak Mandarin, so if you need to have a conversation or convey something in Mandarin, feel free to let me know, and we can do that.
Introduce yourself to Professor Chen. He speak Mandarin. Can you do that?
Of course. If Professor Chen is here and you'd like me to introduce myself, just let me know what you'd like to mention, whether it's your collaboration or your role, and I'll say it in Mandarin.
Say to Professor Chen that welcome to Indonesia and enjoy the stay in Surabaya.
欢迎来到印尼，希望您在泗水的这段时间能够尽情享受，玩得开心。
Thank you. And that's in Mandarin. Now, with this simulated conversation and role play, it's quite safe in a way. You can practice English, you can practice Bahasa Indonesia, and we're going to explore that later after lunch. Not now. We have to find, again, I said, human evidence. So if you teach writing, for example, because you think that they use a lot of AI when they do writing, then you have to ask questions like reasoning behind the claim. Why do you say this? Why do you say that? To check whether they understand what they write or not. Pakai AI boleh, as long as they understand it. And evidence and personal relevance, oral defense, probably say it in Bahasa Indonesia. Nulisnya Bahasa Inggris bagus. Say it in Bahasa Indonesia. Probably then you can find that. I got 10 minutes. So moving writing from product only to process. Process, then you find the defense. This is my claim. This is what I want to say. And reflection. Why I said that. And what's the role of AI in the process of writing. At the moment, I'm going to do research on AI and reading. Belum mulai. Tapi I'm going to do that this semester and see what I can find out on that. Yeah. Why prompting is important? The problem with AI always agree with us. So if we made mistake, the AI will agree and think that that's correct. Hati-hati. It's not the source of knowledge. It's a partner to speak. It's a partner to discuss. So that's try to be a good and best friend, and they will not argue with us. Nggak akan disagree. Kita ngeyel lama-lama, they agree with us. So think about that. Yeah, so that's why AI is not always correct. Think about that. Another one, this is from Misra, punya Misra. They agree with you. It's called yes spot problem. They always agree with you. They not necessarily because they cannot think. They find the data. They try to please you. If you are going north direction, try to help you going north, and north probably is not the correct answer. They should go west, but they said north. I think, yeah, north is correct. Okay, I agree with you. And because and giving reasoning. And the reasoning is convincing. That's the problem. If our students, the knowledge is not deep enough, there is a danger on that. So think about that. Ya, jadi Bapak Ibu, kalau main-main dengan AI, tidak begitu mudah juga. But we have to be aware about this. Small error, when you make small error, that will continue. Seolah-olah terus menjadi benar gitu. And that become big misunderstanding. That's why you have to master AI to help the learners to learn and make aware. Kan nggak tahu, pokoknya AI-nya benar banget gitu. So think about that. Banyak mahasiswa kita atau siswa kita tidak sadar tentang itu. Pokoknya PR-ku kelar, selesai. So this is the dilemma. The smart student will go smarter very fast, but the low student or weak student, they will get drifted towards the wrong direction. Jadi semakin bodoh gitu. Karena barang salah dipercaya terus salah terus loh. Yeah, so think about that. So the role of educator right now it's a bit complex because of the AI. Yeah. Terus kita ngomong etik dan segala macam, sebelum ke sana seharusnya hal-hal yang umum begini kita harus mulai sadar dulu. Ya. Oke, the next one. RCTS, role, context, and task and source. I'm going to talk later on after lunch. Just to give you idea. When you do prompting, that's really important that you have the role, you have the context, then you have the task, so that the AI will do the task. Kalau tasknya umum, ya akan umum banget. For example, draw a picture in Surabaya that's safe from water. Kalau nyuruh AI, gambarin pasti. Gambarnya kayak apa. But that's not the drawing you want. So you have to be more specific. That why you have to have limitation like the role and context that you want and the way you do prompting. Again, we're going to talk about this after lunch later. So this is digital basic skill is no longer sufficient. There is a growing AI right now that's a very, very fast in try to do the interaction with human, and it's keep developing. Yeah, keep developing, and again, we'll run for business first, then enter the education, and then we got confused, disturb our system of education, the way we teach inside the class, and so on and so on. So now it's not just how to operate the computer, but thinking. How should we think? How should we use this? It's not about kalau mau ngobrol sama ChatGPT kayak apa, enggak, but why and so on. So we have to be critical in using the technology in our context. Those who are less literate, yang enggak pernah pakai AI, then you might miss out the benefit. I use a lot of AIs. That's why I got this with the voice. Then start thinking, how should I use this in my classroom and so on and so on. Yeah. But if you're too passive on that, then you will miss a lot of things. But this impact, if you teach it, if you're do a lot of experiment inside the classroom and do a lot of reflection, that will make your teaching a lot better on that. Yeah. Now let's move on. So AI literacy means understanding questioning, how you do prompting, collaborate with the intelligence system. How will you collaborate? How can the AI help you in an ethical way? Ya, kalau gitu jangan pernah ngobrol sama AI to create a lesson plan, terus lesson plan-nya dipakai begitu saja. Ya, you are not ethical because put it this way. If I give you satu bungkus Indomie lah taruhlah, then I ask you to cook, rasanya pasti akan sama. If I give you AI, terus I ask you use AI tanpa apa-apa, the result will be the same. So if you can cook Indomie, tidak bisa claim I am a cook, gitu kan? Saya ahli masak, nggak bisa gitu. Saya bisa masak, bisa. So if your writing can write a paragraph with AI, doesn't mean that he or she can write. That's why we need evidence to prove that they can write. Gitu, jadi mungkin mulai dipikirkan dari sekarang. Ya. Okay. Thank you very much. So this is ITEL. That's my number and my email if you're interested in having a chat later on. I'm also in social media. Saya ada di Facebook, saya ada di Instagram. That's the way I learn. If you ask me a lot of questions, I will learn. If you don't ask question, ya nggak apa-apa. Disturb my life so that I learn. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Check. Thank you, Dr. Gamawang. It's very, very much on time with the presentation. So here, so I learned some things that would be challenges of using AI that I could take a note from Dr. Gamawang. That is not a source of knowledge, one, and it always agrees with you, no matter whether you are wrong or right. It always agrees with you. And be careful of small errors that can be leading to big misunderstanding. So that's why these challenges hopefully can be answered through the speaker of Professor Dia Aryani Arimbi, that is going to talk about the humanisms and the AI, how we sense the AI. Please, I would like to invite Professor Dia Aryani. Please.
Okay. Thank you, Bu Vicky. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you all here, and I'm also privileged to be here. I'm not an expert in AI like Pak Kumawang, but what I'm going to say is what I pick up from his last PowerPoint slides, talking about the idea of using AI critically, especially when you are educating in humanities, because I work in humanities. And it's really interesting that we all agree how AI has shaped a lot of changes in our life. We are coming to the Industrial Revolution 4.0, etc., and a lot of jobs have been replaced by AI. So what we are going to do about it? So this is something that we need to think about. And Pak Kumawang also mentioned we used to use AI in terms of critically, right? Not to take it for granted, but to think critically what AI has done to us, right? Next, please. Oh, sorry, I have to do this. So this is, I'm a GovTech, you know. All right, so where is it? Do I have to point over there? Okay, here. So let's look at this. This is always be in a crossroad in the sense that there is an article by the impact of AI on traditional education, a new era of learning. So you see here, we have students and there is no teacher. The teacher or the educators are AI. Or we have here, we have AI-powered classroom, education future for teachers as navigators by Matt Hudson's AI-powered classroom. So which one are we choosing, right? Or here, by John Spencer using AI and human voice, and we blend that. So that's why I title my presentation with Crossroad, because all of us in some ways will never be able to get off AI. What we do in the first thing in the morning, once we wake up, we look for our mobiles, right? That's why. So the question always, you know, are we controlling technology, or is technology controlling us, right? So this is, we understand this very well, as Pak Kumawang also mentioned, that AI rapidly transforming English language education. We do with everything with AI, and however, as the use of technology has controlling us, and what's going to happen with the human voice that I mentioned earlier. This is where, because in terms of tradition, humanistic education is different than science in a lot of ways. You know, we don't always work on patterns, because sometimes we use something out of patterns, right? While AI relies heavily on algorithm. Is there any possibility that AI doesn't work on algorithm? I don't think so, right? So AI is transforming everything. Of course, you know, it creates tension between efficiency and empathy. Pak Kumawang already mentioned a lot of jobs. Job has been replaced by AI because in terms of efficiency. However, what about the empathy? I remember when Pak Kumawang said that when someone doesn't use AI, doesn't mean that that person cannot write well, right? So you have the generative AI, and this is where, as educator, we have to redefine our roles. You know, where are we? Where do we stand when we have to teach? When we have we have to negotiate between teaching using traditional way in humanistic tradition or using AI. Okay. So I think I skipped this because Pak Kumawang already mentioned it, the use of AI in ALT. And we have this opportunity, right? Automated essay evaluation, as you all did that just now. Right? Adaptive learning. So adaptive tutoring, a student needs will be based on the student's competence using personal data that injected to the AI. And then access and efficiency and education, obviously. These are the opportunities that AI has tremendously given us. Yeah. So we move forward and very fast. However, this is what I have. We have to remind ourselves that there is to student agency and authentic voice, because again, you know, everything works with an algorithm. What happens if I don't want to follow the algorithm? And this is where actually innovation begins, right? Homogenization of creativity. I use a lot ChatGPT when I look at students' essays. It all come in the same pattern. You know, I can actually predict it. After they write this, they will write this, and this, and this, and this. Not to mention data privacy and ethical dilemmas and potential erosion of teacher-student relationship. This is very, very important in humanistic traditions. We are losing connection in terms of teacher-student relationship. Because I think when teacher is upset with the student, it creates something, right? What happened when student make a mess? Because again, as Pak Kumawang remind us that AI will agree with you, right? Whatever you say, right? So that's also the dangers of AI that we have to really look at this. So I just skip the review. So we have to remember again that AI as partner, not replacement. We as educators cannot be simply replaced by AI. Yeah, it's an extension of a job, it's a tool, right? So I think Pak Kumawang already mentioned this, how important it is to have critical digital literacy, reflection, and creativity. And empathy, because I don't think AI can create empathy. And this is what education is all about, you know, building empathy and creating sympathy for the students. That's why that reminds us of our motto. Prof. Chen knows this very well, excellence with morality. That's what we mean when we have excellence in terms of competence, but empathy and moral responsibility must come with that. So this is the question again, ethical integration of AI. Who control technology then? If we are letting everything done by AI, then we are losing the human voice, right? And instead of, but right now there is a tendency that we are going to be controlled by technology instead of controlling technology. So we have to remember that we need a balance and reflective use of AI. Right? So, because again, humanistic pedagogy is completely different than we used to have STEM, right? Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And then we moved to STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and humanities, and mathematics. And what's the new one, Puika, you mentioned earlier? No. The importance of arts and humanities in education. Instead of STEM, you use now STEAM, right? But now there is a new term for that. Yeah. So because humanities cannot be replaced or cannot be delayed from any education, because it creates education as relational and dialogic. So this is what we are missing when you are using AI. You don't speak to your students. You don't create a personal connection with your students, because you are facing AI, your student facing AI, so there is no human. And education is based on dialogues, because your student will remember what you say rather than what AI will say, right? So this is very important. Emphasis on empathy and ethics, critical consciousness and ethics of care. So this is, as educators, we will always be in limbo, you know, especially with the use of AI. As a mentor and ethical guide, facilitator of critical engagement for our students, and mediator between AI and human learning. Where are we standing? Where do we put ourselves? Are we like 50%, 50%, or 60 to 40, 30 to 70? It's all still a big question for us. Yeah. Why Indonesia matters? Then I put this AI education or AI, the use of AI in education in Indonesian context. Yeah. And we have to admit ourselves that Indonesia is not a testing ground for global education technology, although a lot of things happening at the moment. And the problem is large classes. I think you experience this. How many students you have in one class? 36, 40, sometimes 50, right? So it's not easy to manage that many students compared to probably in Taiwan, in Hong Kong, or even in Singapore, where one class is only 20 students, right? In much advanced countries, such as countries in Europe and Australia, or even United States, where they have less students compared to us, yeah? And even infrastructure, the digital divide is huge in Indonesia. I have students who never even see computer from remote areas, right? And make AI adoption politically and ethically charged. Unfortunately, this is still not happening. I'm not sure that the university, even Erlangga University, has actually created a policy in regard of the use of AI. And then, of course, you know, ALT becomes a front line of digital experimentation. So again, this is different. We have to put it within context, as Pak Kumar mentioned, that we have large mixed proficiency classes. You have a student who's very low and a student who's very high in terms of competence, English competence in one single class, right? We can't choose. Teachers have no authority to choose the students, right? Unfortunately. Strong teachers, authority, and moral rules. We are still living in a country where, in terms of culture, we still are having this paternalistic culture, where teacher is not just an education, but a source of authority and moral rule, which is maybe it's different if we go to Hong Kong, if we go to United States, or if go to European countries, where teacher maybe as facilitators, only as facilitator, but here it's different, right? Although I don't know, hopefully in the past, I don't know if it's going to change or not, but we still are living in a country, in a culture where teacher has very strong authority and the source of moral guidance for the students. Of course, you know that Indonesia, with the rapid post-pandemic digitalization, everything is different now. So the role of English educator in Indonesia, of course, is cultural and ethical mediators, right? That's why in some points, becoming a teacher, although the salary is very, very low, correct? But still people do that. They say that it's a call, you know, because again, you know, teacher has specific, educator has a specific role in Indonesian context. Designer of meaningful AI tests, guardians of student agency and voice. I don't know, but in Taiwan or in Hong Kong, for example, will teachers taking care of the student's haircut? No, probably not. But here we do that, right? You check whether the student have long haircuts or long hair or short hair. So that is an example where it's different, right? Model of critical digital literacy. I think this is very, very important. Of course, the use of AI in Indonesian speaking classes, English speaking classes in Indonesia, we have all the benefits, yeah, all the benefits. However, you have also the risk of reduced spontaneity and authentic interaction. Again, I don't know, but when I listened to Pak Gumawang earlier, you know, the tone, right, of the speaker is the same. Because for me, I would love to see those speaking in English or British accent, American accent, Singaporean accents, Indonesian English accent. That will create global English rather than one single standard of English. Yeah. So that's one of the things. So in speaking instruction, you don't have this empathy with the AI, although you have this, support and encouragement, but no human interaction. Yeah. And especially in writing classes. Yeah. Of course, Pak Gumawang mentioned this, you have this, the good things of AI in writing classes. But the tension is writing as thinking, identity, and voice is probably determined highly with the algorithm. Risk of homogenized academic English, as I mentioned earlier, because then you lose voices of individual voices, because writing is like fingerprints. That's why we have now forensic linguistic, right? Because writing is our fingerprint. Everyone writes differently, but with AI, everyone writes the same. So where is the individual voice? Teacher guidance needed for authorial voice also is gone. Reflection of a mere text production. Again, what you see is the text. And I quote, very important for me, the words by Nawal El-Saadawi, a Nobel laureate, who said that in writing, because she was teaching writing, she's a very famous novelist, Egyptian novelist. Writing needs creativity and dissidence. If you write and follow conformity, then your writing means the same, right? Not to follow conformity. Can can I have the passion, knowledge required to change the powerful, oppressive system of family and government without being creative? So that's why, especially in writing, the use of AI as how do you say, as editors, right? It's going to help us, but not as the creator, because you are losing this creativity and dissidence. And then AI in intelligent computer assisted language practices, the same thing. The problem is data driven. Yeah, so the data is driven. The data is driven and losing the learner emotion. Data privacy, because then this is happening more often than not, that our data is being used for other needs. And then there is no reflective and dialogue mediation between teacher and students. Yeah, teacher as interpreter of AI feedback, not as the one who is doing the feedback, but interpreter of feedback. It's different. You are giving the feedback, or you are doing the interpretation, interpreting the feedback. Yeah, so I think there is always opportunity, of course, because we can't live without AI anymore, right? In terms of efficiency, supporting diverse proficiency level, encouraging learners' autonomy, so they will have confidence because they don't see the teacher, they see the computer. And extending learning beyond classroom, because they can learn anytime, anywhere outside the class, right? However, you have also to think about the challenges in terms of AI within Indonesian context. Unequal access to AI tool, digital divide is huge, right? And in Indonesia especially, student over dependence on technology. What if you have a blackout, lampu mati, the electricity not working, then what's the students going to do? Because it happens a lot in Indonesia, especially in remote areas where there is no electricity at all, right? Data privacy and institutional governance, assessment fairness and transparency. So this is the challenges in Indonesian context. So if you look at this, the digital divide in Indonesia is huge. Even in Surabaya, I have a student who told me that when you go to Surabaya bus, you have to pay with e-money, right? And there were two elder ladies, senior citizens. They wanted to get on the Surabaya bus, that they had no mobile and they could not get in because simply they could not pay with a mobile. They have cash. That's one of simple thing of the digital divide. One access is excluded because those people do not have access, do not have mobile, to the digital access. So this is something that we have to think about, especially in teaching humanities in Indonesia. What are you going to do if you have to teach somewhere in Maumere, for example, in Lembah Baliem, where internet, well, not to mention internet, even electricity, there is no electricity, right? So this is something that we have. And then what we can do is integrate ethics within the use of AI. Yeah. Again, AI is used as an assistant, pedagogical assistant, rather than, it's a partner. It's not, AI doesn't have the authoritative voice, right? And then teacher-led instructional decision. Now, this is what I like. So it's still teacher has the autonomy, the role, of working with the student. Context-sensitive implementations. Again, you need to know the context. Where do the student, where are they? I follow this Instagram account, Pak Rudy. You know Pak Rudy? Who teachers in Bangil, if I'm mistaken. And I find it very hilarious, very, very funny, because he allowed the student to bring their cats, to the class, because it makes, I think it's one way of creating empathy and sympathy. It's a good way to, for me, it's also one way of, linking nature in the students in real life, that he allows students to bring their pets, which is very extraordinary, I think, here. So I think that is one of the things that AI cannot replace, right? So context-sensitive implementation and human values as guiding principles. Again, we do not succumb like 100% to algorithm, because again, algorithm is dangerous because we have to think critically. Who owns this algorithm, right? So in terms of pedagogical strategies, of course, you need still humans, yeah? Reflective text on AI generative feedback, yeah? So as an interpreter, then you can give more voice as teachers, yeah? AI supported practice and peer interaction. You still need students to work on peers, not on AI only, because it creates human connection with other students, right? Okay, so again, AI is not neutral. Who owns AI? Algorithm and power. Who owns this power? As far as I know, only 5 big oligarch companies that who own this. Of course, they will have the power to decide where algorithms should go, right? So we have to think it in ELT, it reorganizes power, authorship, and pedagogy. That's why I ask myself, why isn't, when you do this conversational dialogue with AI, why can't I hear Singaporean English rather than British or American or Jamaican English? You know, what happened with the global English is if we use AI as a dialogue partner, right? Because in reality, we have a lot of Englishes, right? English with the plural English, right? The question is no longer whether use AI, but who controls learning at what cost, right? At what cost do we have to, like if we teach Indonesian, for example, using AI, what happened to the Madurese accent, for example? What happens to Papuan accents if everything is standardized? So AI in speaking classes, I think presence is also, for me, it's very important. The connection between human and human, the interaction. What is lost when speaking is no longer relational? What is lost is, yeah? Academic writing, especially. Generative AI accelerates production, but flatten voices. No nuance. Because I like students to write some things that, oh, I never think of this, you know? So we only submit grammatically correct text with minimal ownership or intellectual struggles, because critical thinking is very, very important. Writing risks becoming optimation, not thinking. Here. The logic of surveillance, this is in a high order, that are here. Normalize constant monitoring. So we always be in constant monitor. Learners are measured, ranked, and nudged silently. Autonomy is reframed as self-discipline. The deeper problem, I guess this is what we have to think. AI shift ELT from pedagogy to performance metrics. So what matters is the grades. As long as they have good grades, fine. What happened to knowledge? Knowledge, savoir, to know. It's gone. Because I have this experience. Some of my students text me so they can have higher grade. I mean, for UNER, 86 is A, right? So I have students who are 85.5. And many of them text me, they want to have A. So that's my question. We talk about this, Bu Wulan, yeah? About how this is also one of the result in AI. So learning is never about getting knowledge, but just good grades. And this is happening now. So from ethical judgment to algorithmic recommendation. So everything is recommended by the algorithm. I did a lot of, how do you say, experiments with AI. I take a lot of example from student writing and I need to feedback, but they all come the same feedback, which for me it's really interesting. Yeah, from dialogue to dashboards. Yeah, and teacher is becoming of system managers instead of educators. So for me, humanism is not nostalgia. Of course, it's not anti-technology. I don't think I would be able to survive without my mobile, right? But learning is relational, ethical, and situated. It's always within context. We need the voice, we need the struggle care, so the student have, oh, this aha moment. I love to have students like that. And uncertainty matters. They need to experience mass because they will then understand. And these are things that cannot be automated. So I guess it's always question whether ethical integration or ethical alibi. So we need to have to question who benefit, who adopt, who is excluded, who is included. What about the pedagogical authority? AI must remain interruptible. So we have to be able to control AI. So I guess this is something that that student voice over textual policy is very, very important, especially those who are working with disabled students, because I don't know whether AI already integrate the needs of disabled students. And you talk about, when you talk about disabled students, you have a lot of spectrum. Those who have mental health issue, physical health issue, and a lot of issues, right? So I guess this is Pak Gumawang always mentioned, process over instant output, care over efficiency. So we need to retain dialogue within students and pedagogical judgment based on the teacher's experience, the expert experience over platform logic or algorithm. So a reframe role for the teachers, they are not content deliverers, not AI supervisors, but as ethical designers and critical mediators of technology. Oh, I think I have 2 more minutes, just one last. Resist compulsory automations, yeah. Resist the visit narrative of students. I want students to write in very rich narrative, based on their experience. Resist the idea that faster is not better. So the idea is faster is better, we have to resist that. Slow pedagogy is also ethical pedagogy. It's not fast, and efficient. Okay, I think this is the same. So this is what so-called when we are dealing with AI, we have to include the SDG to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. I guess this is question that who has the power? What can I do with AI, but for whom does it work and who bears the cost? So this is what I mean by teaching at the crossroad. Yeah, AI will shape the future of reality. We have to understand that and we have to embrace that. But equity is not automatic. We still use human-centered governments, and without it, the equality education for all becomes rhetoric, unfortunately, and not reality. I will skip to this. So AI reshapes reality, but does not redefine its core. Yeah, humanism still in a very high use, ethical, reflective. Teaching remains a deeply human practice. I think I conclude my presentation. Thank you very much.
Check. So it's nice to have two opinions, two sides, how we see the use of AI in the perspective of educators, from the philosophical underpinnings, from Professor Dia and also from the practical things that how Dr. Gumawang here showed the practicalities of the AI use. Now it's time for the question and answer sessions here. We have much time here, around 30 minutes. So from now to 11:30, we open 3 questions first. Okay, one from here, the front one here, and then another one is over there, and probably 3 over there. So we have 3, and it's completely, please mention your names, your institutions as well, and to whom you may address specifically your questions. Yes, I'm going to help you to write the questions for you. So that's why I need 3 questions first. Okay.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for the chance, moderator, and also the MC. My name is Akil Abdurrahim. I am an adjunct lecturer from UIN Sunan Ampel Surabaya and Hang Tuah University. I would like to address my question to Dr. Jati, Dr. Gumawang Jati. It's an interesting point about, I don't know how the wording is like this: smarter students get smarter with AI, and slower student, I say slower, not the S word. Slower student get more biased or get more slowed with AI. I think this is important point. My question is that how to make those slower students be the smart students? Is it the digital literacy skills, or the prompting, or it's the cognitive abilities? That's my question. Thank you.
Wow, hit to the target. Thank you. Pak Akil from UIN. Yes, UIN Sunan Ampel Surabaya, right? Okay, now we come to the second one here.
Yeah. So thank you so much for the time. Excuse me. Let me try.
Oh, the second one is over here. I thought that is in the middle of here. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Yes,
Let me
yes,
go
yes. Please,
first. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So is it possible for? Okay. Sorry. Okay. So I'm not going to give questions. So it's just like validation and confirmation. Is it too far if I try to draw a conclusion that AI is only for those who are literate in the field or in the topic, but for those who are not illiterate, like students or like members that do not have any understanding, and we cannot try to let them use AI. It's just like I need your confirmation. Is it too far for me or not? Thank you.
May I know what's your name?
Yeah. My name is Edwin from Uniska Kediri. Thank you.
Okay, wow. Mas Edwin from Kediri, right? Yeah. Thank you. So I think this question can be addressed for 2 speakers, right? How whether AI is dedicated for those who are literate or illiterate one. That's a good question. Now we come to the third one. I think someone here is in the middle. Raise their hand. Say the lady one. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
I'm Lily. My name is Lily from SMA Negeri 22 Surabaya. Okay, my question is, I would like to tell about the condition of my students. Most of my students in class know AI more than me, and they use AI in a lot of things, and also in English. But actually, in fact, when they are doing something, especially in writing or speaking, they always think in Bahasa Indonesia, and sometimes when they are writing, they express what they are thinking in Bahasa Indonesia and they translate it into English. So of course, when the writings, they have a lot of mistakes, especially in the grammar, and also the writing is not good, and also in speaking. So this is a big problem for us. So how to solve this with these conditions? Because as a teacher also, we have a little time to explain about the structure. So would you like to help us to solve this problem? Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. I think that's a very implications, let's say practical, what is happening in our surroundings, especially in the senior high school, right? From SMA, senior high schools from 22, right? Yes, state. I think that I would like to address the first question from Pak Agil and dedicated to Pak Jati. It's about how to make slower students to be smart students with the role of the educators.
Okay, thank you very much. What I mean by AI make the student run faster and the slower getting slower, there is a danger on that. Yeah. Then your question is how to make the slow become smarter. For sure, the answer is not AI. The AI will not make the slow student become faster and so on unless that you work intensively with those students, because you have to guide how to use the AI. And then you said, no, the AI is not correct in this case, then you have to do that. Yeah. So AI is not the answer for sure for that. Maybe you have to limit using AI and talk to them more. That's why I disagree with a lot of people that say you have to use a lot of digital so that they get smarter. Probably it's not that. If that's the case, kita kirim aja itu barang-barang yang bagus ke Papua sana atau ke daerah 3T, terus muridnya pinter-pinter. That's not the problem. The problem is good teachers. Yeah, so the AI will not solve a lot of things. It accelerate things, yes. Yeah, but it's not problem solving actually. Seperti ada wakil presiden kita bilang AI dari mulai SD atau apa gitu. Bukan itu kayaknya, gitu ya. Okay, that's my answer. Sorry, cannot say more about that, but that's reality. You as a teacher, or we as a teacher, we have to understand AI. We have to understand the limitation. We have to understand the benefits. Then you have to decide, use your judgment as educator. How will you use it inside the class? Or you will not use it at all. What advice you should give to your student, or you just keep silent. Yeah. So the decision in pedagogical decision that's required right now. Pakai handphone boleh di kelas, terus muridnya pinter. Nggak pakai handphone di kelas, terus muridnya bodoh. Nggak juga kan? Yeah. So think about that. Thank you.
Excellent response. I think that we came to agreement with that one, that the AI is only tool. Can we say like that? Yeah, right. But we need back again to the pedagogy. Now, there are two questions that the speakers here need to address. Probably I would like to give Budia first here. There are two questions from the second speaker here, second participant here. Is it AI dedicated for those only for literate? That's number one. And number two here, from the third participant here, if there are problems that the way they are writing, the way they are speaking here is in Indonesian, right? And then it's going to be translated into English, and that's going to be messy. And how we come up with the solutions for that one, right? Okay, Budia. So the same questions will be Pak Gumawang as well for these two questions after Bu Dia.
Okay. Thank you, Bu Vicky. First, probably I would like to respond to the first question about smarter and slow student. Do we need to categorize students in that way? I mean, for me, that's a problem, because I believe all students are smart. They have different competence, of course. Students very bad in math, but very good in drawing, right? Should be then categorize them as those who are not good in math and those who are bad in math but were very good in drawing in arts, for example. Slow student? Not necessary, right? So I guess this is problem with against categorization, especially when we have to rank the students, right? Because then there is a risk of, creating divides for the students. because that relates to the second questions. Of course, internet is elitist. Those who can access that can have, but what happened to those who cannot access that, right? So they are their rights, or they didn't even have a way to access that. Although in big cities, everyone can access internet, but not everyone. I mean, look at any daerah 3T, tertinggal, terluar, terisolasi, what happened to them? Not only that, there is a lot of news about how students cannot even do the math, even when they are in high school, for example. Right, in Bali, if I'm not mistaken, I read that news. Right, so I guess we have to understand that this is only for those who can access that. That's why I agree with Pak Kumawang. You use AI, you can write better, but if you don't use AI, it doesn't mean you cannot write better. Maybe you write way better when you do not use AI. There's been a lot of study where students are not allowed to bring their mobiles and everything because of the social media and everything that creates brain rot and everything. So you all read this news. So I guess we have to be critically look at the use of AI, right? In writing as editors, yes, but not, of course, as a creator, because then you don't have the voice, you don't have the nuance, you don't create mass. Your writing is messy, it's good. And I think thinking in Indonesia, what's wrong with that? I think in Bahasa and in Indonesian ways of thinking. And I think we have to value that. There is no problem thinking in Indonesian way of thinking. Because we are born and raised within the Indonesian context. So there is no problem with that. Translating, yes, of course we can do translation. Maybe if you see science fiction, in the future, there is one universal translation. Everyone speaks different languages, but everyone can understand each other because of this universal translation, of course. But what we can do is, giving them feedback. So as far as I know, because of the AI regulation and the use of heavy AI in education, in many, many, many European countries now, exam is used oral exam instead of written exam. Because then the logical works of your students, the critical thinking of your student. Because in writing, just write the prompt, because AI, good prompt creates good writing, right? Bad prompt creates bad writing. But if you are very good in prompt and your writing is good, but it doesn't mean you understand that. It happens a lot with my students. They just copy and paste. And when I look, I ask them single word, they have no idea. They have no idea what this word means, right? So I guess now we are coming back pre-AI. So but we cannot do this pre-AI moment because it doesn't exist. But we are going back to the speaking exam, oral exam, rather than the written exam. Because even in multiple choice questions, students can simply paste, and then the AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, or whatever will come up with a good answer, with the correct answer, 100% correct. But it doesn't mean they understand that. So I guess one of the things that you may do is now trying or introducing oral exam. It's a lot of work. It's a pain in the ass, obviously, because it takes more of your time, but you will understand the student progress. And what's the last? I think that's all the question, right? Okay, yeah. What do you mean by literate? Literate can't read, or literate in terms of digital literacy? Because if it's digital literacy, if you can access, of course, you will understand. Comprehension. Oh, comprehension. Well, you have to define literacy first. Literacy doesn't mean digital literacy, right? So everyone is literate. I mean, this is a problem with this is how do you say critical thinking, I guess, because everyone can think critically. The problem with how literacy is defined, because it's sorry to say, but based on Western idea of what is literacy, ability to read and write. But what is reading? Reading. Because in Eastern culture, literacy is not about writing, it's about speaking. There's a very good book by the Songlines. I can't remember the writer. The Songline is a travel writing by Bruce Bruce something. Bruce. No. The Songlines. It's about Aboriginal communities in Australia who, for us, map is writing, right? Map. We draw map, right? We draw map here, Surabaya, Bandung, whatever. But for this song, Bruce Chatwin, now I remember. For the Songlines, when the Aborigines travels, they sing a song. If the other person can continue the song, it means they are within the territory. Map is oral. It's not written. Isn't that literacy? So orality is also literacy. So we have to be able to dismantle, sorry to say, this Western concept of literacy that based on writing. So this is something that, I told my students this over and over and over again. Be careful with terminology. Be careful because it creates, again, I always come back to who has the power to define this. So when you ask about literacy, everyone is literate. But when you talk about digital literacy, of course, those who can access, have access to digital tools, digital power, they have literacy, right? But there are those who cannot have access to digital or internet. That's why I always say that, okay, internet is democratic, everyone can say anything and everyone can log in and blah, blah, blah. But it's still very elitist. Because I know I told you the story of two elder ladies who simply they were refused their rights to get on Surabaya bus because they don't have mobiles. They can't pay. They could not pay with e-money. They only have cash. So what happened with them? Are we going to leave them? So I think this is again coming back to how do you define literacy? Yeah.
Dr. Gumawang, to give the comments.
Okay, thank you. That's from Edwin. AI is for literate or illiterate. I'm back to the business. AI was invented for business to shorten the process, to eliminate a little bit of the human being, so that it's cost effective. It's for efficiency and speed. Again, when we compare to education, are we talking about the speed or are we going to talk about the education? So AI for everyone, it's there. For us as an educator, then the question will be, how can or how should I use the AI? How can the AI offer us in the process of educating our student? That's a basic question that we have to answer. And I cannot give you the answer because my way of teaching is a different way of you. I'm going to back to Ibu Lili from SMA. That's the same. Your students are very good in using AI. If they are very good in using AI, are they smart students or they are students that you want to be or something else? Yeah, so that's okay. If you are not really sophisticated in using AI, that's okay, but you are a good teacher. What we have to do is to help the student how to learn. They're very good in playing games. They're very good in using AI, but they don't know how to learn. They don't know how to learn using AI. That's why you have to show and talk to them. What are you doing? Begini, and probably then you give a pedagogical advice to your students. Waktu saya dulu, anak saya SMA, saya ikut main Dota. Serius, saya ikut main game. Supaya saya tahu ini bisa masuk di situ, ngapain ngasih nasihat dan seterusnya. Without playing the game, I don't know what Dota is. And I know in Dota when you're playing with the Russian, they got a lot of swear words that in English that I don't understand. And the other end, their English is not very good because they are Russian. So they exchanging language and things like that. Then I can come and give advice. So you have to be careful. You talk to a stranger, don't mention this, be polite. If I could polite, I could bully it. How do you know they're using this word? Okay, let's have a look at this word. What does it mean? And so on and so on. Again, talk to your student. You're a good teacher, Ibu. Thank you.
We still have time, let's say more or less like 8 minutes. Probably I would like to invite 2 short questions. So one man from here, another one here, I think one man here. So that would, Professor Chen. Okay. You are not allowed, but if I'm not allowing you, then you, Vicky, why you are not allowing me? Okay, one there. Yes, one is a man. 3 men in a row. Please mention the name, sebutkan nama dan asalnya ya Pak.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Budi Setiawan. I am from SMK Semen Gresik. My question is, now is AI era. And in my school, there are many students use AI for finishing their project, their work, and their assignment. And sometimes they use AI for finishing their examination. So I think it is very dangerous for them to have critical thinking. Yeah. Now my question is how to solve that problem to Mr. Gumawan. How to solve that problem if the student always depend on the AI for finishing their project, their assignment, and their examination.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak. The problem is your problem, Pak. Begini, sorry, I'm using bahasa Indonesia aja ya. Yang SMK itu begini, SMK, Politeknik, dan seterusnya. You have to use AI karena nanti di dunia kerja akan menggunakan AI. Gitu kan, alasannya selalu begitu.
Yeah.
Then you have to be very careful. If you're going to teach critical thinking, do not use AI. AI is just to show, okay, you're going to finish the work like this. This is for working process, not learning process.
But to make it balanced, sir.
To make it balanced, when you have to do practical things, then use project with AI, fine. Because you're just marking the product, okay? You know the step. But in the process of learning, do not use the same thing, Pak. So project probably using your hand, no mobile phone, keep your thinking, project doing something, a picture or diagram or whatsoever, but do not use digital. Yeah, if you want to use, gini aja. If you advise your student untuk membaca pakai digital, don't they think? No. They look at the surface. If you want your students to think, then give them books, baca. That's the way, Pak. Kayaknya. Solve the problem, talk to your friend, talk to your headmaster, then you will find a way somehow. Karena belum ada yang mencoba mungkin, itu serius. Belum ada yang mencoba mungkin, pemerintah nggak berani memberikan regulasi yang terlalu ketat. Because the condition is different. That's what I thought, Pak. Thank you.
It's getting hot and hot and hot, the discussions here. Probably after this one, you are going to continue the discussions with Pak Gumawang, right? Setelah pesan-pesan berikutnya, Pak. Baik. Next to the second questions here, the man at the front and then Professor Chen. Let's say here, the committee, the blue, man in the blue. Do not forget to mention your name and also your affiliation. Thank you.
Yes, man in blue, Thomas Kaufman, formerly with ETS and now University of Colorado, Denver in Beijing, China. So AI literacy, thank you, by the way, your great thoughts, a lot to share, resonate, and this conversation. That's wonderful. AI literacy is the first question. What is that? But I'm more grappling with designing a course on redesigning academic writing for undergraduates. And so I really liked how you mentioned human evidence, of that assessing process over product, reasoning for claim, evidence selection, personal relevance, oral defense of ideas. And so specifically, what does that look like? Are there assignments? Are there things that we can do? What are your ideas on how that might work as being ethical designers of learning conditions?
I think that question, it can be addressed for the two presenters or speakers here, right? Okay, we hold for a few seconds. I would like to invite Professor Chen to, yes.
Am I allowed to ask the question?
Yes,
Okay.
you're the boss.
Actually, I'm thinking about the audience. The audience, okay? Because from two outstanding scholars, you give a lot of input, okay? So they have the input. Then when they return back to classroom, they will use what you offer. So that's the outcome, the teaching outcome. But some participants make good use of your advice. Some participants fail to, make good use of your advice. In between is the so-called teacher efficacy, more or less like a meditating variables. Okay, teacher efficacy refer to your belief system, your confidence. Okay, in other words, some might believe in AI. Some might not believe in AI. So my question is, because you offer two very different, spectrum or perspective on AI and education. So what would be one final word from both of you so that when they return, they don't have to struggle. They stick with, deep in their heart, and they can, internalize your advice into their belief system so that they become a better teacher. Okay, thank you.
Oh, Professor Chen are taking my question. Then that's a good one. Works. Okay, so we give comments, Professor Dia and then Dr. Gumawang for the directly addressing for the two. Program.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to share just analogy and share my experience in working with AI for my undergraduate students, and we are doing writing. First, what I do, I ask them to do mind map using AI together, and then they have to present the mind map in groups. This is not individual group as individual work, but grouping. Using AI, mind mapping, and then they got a lot of ideas there. Even the mind map is on AI. So they have a question like what, how, and so on and so on. Everything is like put it in that way. Then they have to present it. By doing so, they got the ideas shaped by AI, and then they talk to their friend. What I believe is talk to the AI first. After that, talk to human. So then they got two perspectives. The AI is more like you opening a book, you opening a lot of things, then you draw something. The drawing, you talk to your friend, your peers, and think about that. After that, then they have to write the first draft. When they write the first draft, I ask them to talk to a lot of AIs. Grammarly, also ChatGPT, also Gemini, also DeepSeek. I'm not sticking in one AI. So that, what advice can you get from ChatGPT? What advice can you get from DeepSeek and so on? And what do you think? After doing the drafting, also they do a discussion before the final product. Yeah, the final product is still individual. Then it's up to you. You're going to use AI and so on. Hopefully that they are more critical in criticizing the product from the AI. And the result, I was quite happy. But still, to be honest, it's not sure whether I get the evidence on that. And I have problem in marking, for sure. That's why I also asking their friend to give their friend mark. Tolong dinilai, so it's peer marking, and then put it in the Excel, and it's open, transparent, so that I give my mark as well in there. Some students were not happy, but I should get A in this. Why you put A minus? What's your judgment and things like that happen? But happily, I only have 9 students in my class. Thank you. Some words, Professor Chen, it's very difficult. Some word from me, be yourself. You're a good teacher. Don't worry about AI. Learn how to use AI. Learn how to use your mobile. And think you are a teacher. Jangan terjebak. Yeah, I'm a teacher. What advice should I give my student? What advice should, if I'm teaching speaking, what can I do with this AI and so on? So remember, you're a good teacher, will be accompanied by AI or mobile or whatsoever. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. If it's up to me, I will probably ask my students to go back to the old school, writing by hands, because handwriting is gone now. I mean, if I ask my students, because sometimes during the exam, I will have to ask them to do the sitting exam, writing essay. It's very difficult to write their handwritings because they are not accustomed to. So I guess by, coming back to the old school, of course, I'm not anti-AI, anti-technology, but still you need to go back, to take a step back and then use that, because then you will see how students write without AI. Because I think this is one of the humanistic tradition that, that's been going on for thousands of years, coming back to the old school, because in some study programs, such as in chemistry and biology, for example, when students do the lab work, they are not allowed to type. They have to write down the result of the experiment, because then they remember. Right? When you write, you will remember. So in some study programs, handwriting is still necessary and it's still required. So I think for the earlier student in the earlier semester, I think this is a way of, because when you write, you remember. It's different when you type, especially when you copy and paste. I guess one of the things that, of course, AI can help us a lot, but it doesn't mean that it's everything. Yeah. So coming back to the old ways, I guess it's a way of prevailing that humanistic tradition that I mentioned earlier. And then for the last question, I think it's all based on the context. I guess you need to look at your students. I mean, what happens if, I have some rich student and some poor student who will not have the access to technology? Are we going to force them? Because this happened when the pandemic hit us a couple of years ago. There were students who were not able to even get the mobile or internet access. So what happened is the teacher went from house to house to have this individual teaching to students. And that is, I think it's a very smart ways of, navigating the technology and this humanistic tradition. So for me, it's always look at what the students need and what context do they have, in what way that in terms of competence, in terms of access of technology, in terms of the number of the students. If you have only 8 students like Pak Kumawang, that's piece of cake. But what happens if you have 50 students, right? That's really a challenge, huge challenge. So I guess because at the end of the day, what we are doing is for the students. So coming back to what the students need, what are the competence, what are the context that they're in. So as a teachers, I'm sure that you are able to adapt, and you always negotiate these things, right? We have this ability to negotiate. That's the beauty of humanistic traditions. Always be able to negotiate and always to be able to adapt. I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Wow, Tran, I mean, the time flies. So I don't want to keep it longer for you to stay here. So I think the words are from Professor Dia Haryani Arimbi and Dr. Gumawang as the closing for you before leaving this room and come back again here to the third sessions and the fourth sessions. So thank you. I would like to invite all of you, big applause to our speakers. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'll come back again to the Master of Ceremony.
All right, thank you very much, Ma'am Vicky. Thank you very much for our incredible speakers, Prof. Dia and also Dr. Gumawang. Give big applause to all of them. Ultimately, the future of education lies not in choosing between technology and humanity, but in harmonizing both to create more meaningful and also impactful learning experiences. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now have lunch break until 12:25 p.m. So you can return to the room before 12:25 p.m. and please enjoy your break. We look forward to welcoming you back for another session. Dan dimohon Bapak Ibu apabila ingin melaksanakan sholat dapat turun di lantai 4 dan juga dimohon untuk tidak meninggalkan sampah di dalam ruangan. Thank you very much. Terima kasih.